rise one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
Get the word out. It's the word. It's the word. Yeah.
All right. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, happy Saturday, happy Saturday. And thank you guys for spending a little bit of your Saturday with me today. I hope you're washing your hands and covering your mouth and when you cough and when you sneeze. And if you happen to be in an area that is quarantined, stay at home if you are sick. Fear is just as contagious as the virus. So this is the third Saturday, and as usual, we have the Money Maven. She is here with us today to give us some good insight about some money. Today's format is going to be a little bit different. The Money Maven will be taking the reins in this money thing today with her special guest, Jerome Williams. He is the co-founder of New Wealth Network. Money Maven, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Hey, girl. Hey, I can.
Hey.
Are you staying safe in the house and covering your mouth?
Yes, I am. And who wants these children I have? That's what I need to understand. And before we get started, I wanted to share, if everybody hasn't heard, all your listeners, now they're saying that we have to be careful pumping gas because people are coughing or whatever into their hands and then touching the gas nozzles and handles, and then we come behind them, and it takes so long for the virus to die organically that we come behind them, and it's spreading that way as well. We get out, we think, oh, it's just gas, pump it, jump in our cars and leave, and then we wipe our face or do anything with our hands, and now we've picked up that virus. So it's scary when you live in fear, but we all walk by faith and preparation. So if you have, you know how I am, Tracy, if you have hard assets and you build yourself up slowly but surely, these type of times don't become, you're not unstable because of what's going on in the economy, because everything corrects itself when you are prepared. So, and I know my special guest, Mr. Jerome Williams, I've known him, I'm not going to even say how long because I don't want to date myself because all your listeners think I'm 22. So we're going to go with that. I'm 22 with a 17-year-old and a 13-year-old. So we're going to leave it at that. But he himself has invested personally in 66 properties that's here in Chicago. He's helped his financial clients, and he can give you more information about those accolades, but he's so humble, he may never mention it, so I wanted to just share some of that with you because I know him personally. He's helped over 400 others close real estate transactions successfully, and he did all of that within a 3-year time span. And I'm not sure if everyone on the line understands that the YMCA on the south side of Chicago, you know where it is, Tracy, the one in the 60s over there?
Yeah, I do.
That's one of the biggest YMCAs. He helped develop that. So we've got someone on here that, to me, is just an honor and a privilege to even be on the same line with him. And with that being stated, I'll let him introduce himself. Mr. Jerome Williams, are you available?
I most certainly am, Money Maven. Thank you all, and Tracy, so much for having me on the line here today. It's very difficult to come behind such glowing words, but thank you for the kind introduction. I don't have anything more to add as far as introduction goes. Yeah, you okay? We can take care of that. I'm excited about being here with you today, though, ladies. I want you to know that these are very different times that we're living in. They're unprecedented. None of us have ever seen what we are all experiencing here, and our prayers are with each and every one of you and our households, encouraging everybody to be careful, be prayerful, follow the instructions that you're being given so that you can live to see another day and talk about this at some particular point in time in the future to your children or to your grandchildren. Don't become a casualty just as a result of being careless. So those are my words of encouragement to you today, to just be very careful and be very prayerful during these unusual, unprecedented times.
Well, welcome, and we're glad to have you here. I'm so happy that you're on the line because it takes some pressure off of me. Here's someone who knows more than I do, so I'm going to grab my pencil, my pen, and I'm going to take some of the notes. Just tell us a little bit about New Wealth Network and what you're doing for our community.
Sure. Well, I'm a financial consultant and a real estate investor, and been doing this for a little while, and I know you don't want to date yourself, and I'm not going to get into all of the particulars about how long we've known each other, but we've known each other for a little while now. And I've been doing this for a while. And one of the statistics that has always troubled me and amazed me at the same time is how that 95% of Americans retire either dead at 65 or dead broke at retirement age. And this is according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. Only 1 out of 100 Americans is actually rich at age 65. 1.
That's amazing.
You follow the average.
You work all
Isn't that
those
amazing?
years. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 4 are financially secure. Follow the numbers. That's 5. All right, let's go down from that other 95%. 5 are still working at age 65. You know, up until this pandemic, we were seeing them at Walmart and McDonald's, et cetera. We see older people still in the workforce that should be retired, that really should be retired, but cannot afford to be. They're not there just because they want to get out. And most of them are not there just because they want to get out. They need the income. Okay. 5 are still working. 36 are dead, and they say many of these deaths are directly related to financial pressures. They call it the 40-40-40 plan that we were on. Work 40 hours a week for 40 years of our lives, and then we are expected to retire comfortably on 40% of what already was not enough. Can you imagine retiring on 40% of what you earn today?
That's so sad.
It's enough. Yeah, it's enough to put you in an early grave. But these are not the things that we were told on the front end. We were told that if we worked for 40 years of our lives with somebody, that we would turn around and be able to retire comfortably. But the statistics don't lie. People aren't finding that to be true at all. 36 of those deaths, I should say 36% of those people are dying because of financial pressures. And then 54 out of every 100 people at age 65 are dead broke, dependent on friends. Get this become a burden on friends, family, or the federal government. And you don't want to really be dependent upon either of those 3 sources. So what do you do? What do you do? Well, you don't have to go out and reinvent the wheel. You do what other successful people have done. But you got to really do it. You can't just talk about it. You just can't believe that that if that were ever to happen, then things could change for you. You don't want to have the lottery mentality like many people do. People waste a ton of money playing the lottery. Well, it wouldn't help you. Listen, I got a news flash for you. If you hit it, it still won't help you. So why would you say that, Jerome? Because don't lie. Numbers don't lie. People do. The statistics teach us that people who hit the lottery because they don't understand money, they wind up broke within 3 to 5 years. Everybody and everybody's mother comes out of the woodworks, cousins they never knew they had. They don't understand money. They're spending on this, spending on that, spending on the other, covering all these family members and friends and thinking it's going to last forever. And the next thing you know, they're broke all over again. So we want to, at the New Wealth Network, address this issue and address it at its core, at its very foundation. There's an education that you and I need about money that we weren't given in grammar school. We weren't given it in high school. We weren't given it in college. And most of us did not get it around the breakfast table, the lunch table, or the dinner table with our parents. So how do we get it? I mean, you get to be 18 years old, and all of a sudden you're thrust into the workforce. Either you're going to go to college or go out and get a job, but you don't know anything about housing. You don't know whether you should be renting or buying or how it happens or anything. We've been set up to fail, guys. And so this is what we do at the New Wealth Network. We want to give you a foundation. We want to give you awareness, if you will, financial awareness. We've launched a national movement. It's called America's Financial Awareness Movement. And you literally can join it for free. It's an awareness movement, a financial awareness movement to help you get the basics about finance, teaching you about things like your income. Why is it so important to have more coming in than you have going out? And you say, that's a pretty elementary question. Yeah, it is. But we really need to understand why. Because you can only survive for so long if you got more expense than you do income. So we want to show you how to increase your income so that you have more income coming in and you have expenses going out. Your credit, it's at the core. It's at the core of your ability to create wealth. Your credit, your personal and business credit. We want to teach you how to build both of those so that you can start making purchases in your business name, not in your personal credit information, not in your personal Social Security anymore. That's not what you really want to do. But if nobody teaches you, you don't know. And if you didn't know you could have a business, even though you have a job, we're here to tell you, yes, you can have them both at the same time and reap the benefits of having your business. And then we're going to teach you about equity. That's ownership. Show you how you can purchase things that bring you back a return. See, there's a difference between bad debt and good debt. Bad debt is what most of us have learned to create. We go out and we buy stuff. If I could give you an example of two people, person A and person B, they work in an assembly line right next to each other. Been working there for 20 years, getting the exact same pay. They live in the same community. And the community got the exact same kind of houses. Both of them got a 3-bedroom with 2 baths, and they pay the exact same amount. Yes, they do. But person A has a boat. Person A takes vacations, and person A is doing okay. They're putting the children in college, and a lot of things are going on person A, but person B is struggling. You say, well, wait a minute. They make the same amount of money, live in the same community. They're working side by side for 20 years. Well, here's the difference. For 20 years, person A has been putting money into things that go up in value. You buy things that go up in value, that appreciate. Things like stocks, bonds, real estate, things that go up in value. After a while, you learn to appreciate appreciation. The person B was buying things that go down in value, bling bling, cars and watches and clothes and stuff. So 20 years later, they got they bought a bunch of stuff that's worth less than what they paid for it. Hear that word? Worthless. They've been spending their money and their time on things that are worth less. So we want to help get you involved in processes that help you purchase things that have value, true value, and that over time they appreciate and they have greater value than what it is that you paid for them. So even if you went into debt to buy them, and let's just use a real estate illustration if we may. Say you bought a piece of property that cost $50,000, and it took you another $50,000 to fix it up. You got a whole $100,000 in that property. Well, here's the great news. Before you bought it, you had us help you with the numbers, and when we crunched the numbers, we say, well, in that neighborhood, that property fixed up, the after repair value is going to be about $200,000. Whoa! So you can get it for $50,000. You can put $50,000 in it, and now let's say you sold it at a discount. You sold it for $180,000. You just made $80,000. Now, the process works for you like it does for me and like it does for countless other real estate investors. But if you don't get engaged in the process, it'll never happen for you. Guaranteed. So what we want to do is to take the mystery away for people, take the barriers down, get rid of the fear factors, help you to understand that we're just people like you. We don't see ourselves as being special, made out of anything special, having any special talents or any abilities. No, none of that. We got exposed to some information, And we decided to take advantage of the information. And what we found, what we discovered is that when you engage in this process, the process is the same. It works the same basically over and over and over again, and the results are predictable. If you do the numbers on the front end, you crunch your numbers right, and then you execute your plan, on the back end you're looking at a windfall of capital, a windfall of cash. And that's where you need to be so you can avoid being a part of that 95%. There's property all in your neighborhood, around the city of Chicago, around all the urban areas of the country. There's gentrification taking place. People who've lived in these communities for 30, 40, 50 years are seeing their communities turn over, and they're frustrated. But there's no reason to get frustrated. Get into the process. Find out how you can be a real estate investor, how you can buy some of these properties and you can turn them over yourself. You can buy them and you can even refinance it, get your cash and then rent it out so you can keep it and take care of the cash flow. Have that coming into your household for retirement purposes. So there's a lot that can be accomplished, and we're here as New Wealth Network to see how we can help you accomplish it. In fact, in every major marketplace, we're looking for at least 10 people that we can mentor and coach and help you dominate your marketplace. You know, we're not going to do anything that you couldn't do on your own, quite honestly. We're not going to teach you anything newfangled that's never been taught before. We don't tout ourselves as having that type of specialized knowledge. But what we do have is experience, and we're an honest group of people who can bring that experience to you. And if you are, we only look for two things. These are the two things we look for in you. We look for, number one, people who are humble enough to be taught. Some of us, you know, we just aren't humble enough to be taught. You can't tell us anything. But if you're humble enough to be taught, number one, and you're hungry enough to go to work, you sound like my kind of guy, my kind of gal. Let's talk more about what we might be able to do in your local market, because we're looking for people that want to dominate that market in real estate. Money Maven?
Yes, I am here. Whew.
Yes.
I know people have some questions, but there were some things I wanted to. Why don't you go ahead and give us your website address, because somebody may want to go and visit.
Okay. All right. Well, we can be found at the New Wealth Network. That's NEWWEALTH network.com. NewWealthNetwork.com. Somebody said, why do you call yourself New Wealth? Well, it's really simple. If you don't have old money or old wealth, the only way you're going to ever get it is you got to create some new wealth, right? So that's who we are. We're showing people how to create some new wealth so that you can leave a legacy to your children's children. Break the curse. Yes.
That is awesome. And I know that I follow, and I would suggest that, Tracy, all of your listeners follow, because on social media we're talking about. On social media, it's here at Facebook. It's New Wealth Network. That's the page. Go like the page. Share this with your friends, because you want to have at least access to the knowledge. Even if you think you already know, there's always someone that you can share this with that may not know as much as you think they know or may need the services. The Instagram page is new_wealth_network. And I know that, Mr. Williams, do you all give discounts, or what do you do for people that want to get involved and I may not have $10 to spare? Is there any financing or anything available?
Oh, absolutely. We're not dealing with a small ticket item here. We're dealing with real estate, and it's not necessarily for everyone, although we attempt to make it accessible for everyone. So we take individual circumstances into account, and we see how we can help people by sometimes discounting our services in an effort to make it more affordable, if you will. And we've got some positions that we may even waive the fee on altogether to give a person a chance to participate who literally has no money but has all the desire in the world. So don't just think about what it's going to cost. Think about what it's going to pay you to be involved with a group like ours. Let me just say this. This wasn't a question that was asked to me, but it's on my mind. I'm from Chicago. born and raised right here in Chicago. My mother had 5 boys and 2 girls, and she raised us by herself. And you all know the rule. When we were coming up back in the day, it was, I brought you in and I'll take you out. That's right. That was the rule.
Yeah. I still follow that rule with my children. So
there you go. That's one of those that, you know, that I think is worth holding on to. I taught mine as well, and I'm glad I got my bluff in at an early age, because my 2 sons wound up becoming 6'6" and 6'8". I'm 6'1" and a half, and but
hey little guy, they like hey little
guy. but I got my bluff in early, so you so I never had any challenges out of either of them disrespecting me as their dad. I love them and respect them. They love me and respect me, and we get along extremely well. But I mentioned that about my mom because my mother pretty much was the rock of Gibraltar in the household, and I watched her work ethic. We didn't come from money. You know, I tell people I was an involuntary vegetarian. Yeah, we couldn't afford meat at times. I was eating sandwiches. That had mayonnaise on bread because that's what I had to eat. I didn't know. I'm just a youngster. Now, she provided a lifestyle for us that was a loving one and a family-like environment, but food wasn't always, you know, plentiful. So you're not talking to a guy who's always had it good, and when he came up, he was able to tap into his mom or dad's resources. None of that. I came up a working man, and I just am an observant person, and I went into environments where people did not look like me, and I learned in those environments when I was the only melanated person in this particular environment. And I knew all the conversation was not going to change to accommodate one melanated man. And I knew all the office policies and procedures were not going to change just to accommodate one melanated man. So I saw things and I heard things that people in our community weren't used to hearing or seeing. And I would come back and I would share those things with people in the community via seminars and workshops and even private consultations. So we're in the community. We're in the trenches with the community, and if you are looking for some people that will help support you, and you're humble enough to be taught and hungry enough to go to work, then we need to have a conversation because we're looking for people that are looking for us. Money Maven?
So how do they reach you? If they want, if someone is interested and they want to work with you on some level?
Well, they can actually reach us through the website. That's one of the best ways to reach us. We've got an 800 number. I think I provided you with that information.
Yes,
the 800
1-800-379-4NWN. 1-800-379-4NWN. I'm all over your website. I see it.
How do you like it?
It's nice. Yes, I like it.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it was designed by a very brilliant person. We won't mention who it was, but anyway, we'll continue. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. In case anybody thinks I'm giving myself backhanded compliments, it was not me. It was another person I have a tremendous amount of respect for. It was not me.
Tracy, do you have anything or someone that has questions? Because I don't want to hog Miss Time.
So, I mean, I'm just going to say the information you gave out just blew me away because that is not a conversation that we have. We are not knowledgeable. And then we get out in the world blindfolded trying to figure it out. So it's a great, great thing that you are available to people who want to know more, people who know that there's more out of life than clothes and shoes and cars, and people that want to do more than rent, people who want to live a lifestyle that they see on TV. The rich, there's the rich and famous, and you know, it's just remarkable. And I'm just so happy that there is someone in the community that's willing to share, as I say, share your popsicles. Because when you come up in a household or family that you can't take your snacks outside because you'll have to share it with the other people. That's where not sharing information actually comes from. That's my thought on it.
Okay.
You've had friends. You've had friends who, when their family goes grocery shopping, and they couldn't take their snacks outside because they would have to share. And for me, that's where in our community we learned not to share just something as small as that, because you don't want to give somebody else what you have. And that's just such a shame.
It is a shame, because the more you give, the more you receive. It is better to give than it is to receive. You take your fist right now, you take your hand, you close it up, you make a fist. And I will grant you nothing's going to get out of it. If you squeeze that real tight, nothing's going to get out of it. But I tell you something else, nothing's going to get in it either. So we need to learn to open our hands, because as the hand is open, not only is it in a position to give, but it's also in a position to receive. So when we're thinking selfishly and we're hoarding thoughts, we're hoarding information, we're hoarding opportunities, we're hurting ourselves, and we don't realize that. And this applies to all people. All people. Even rich people who are hoarders and greedy could have more than what they have if they were sharing. Yes. They're violating a principle of God's eternal word. It is more blessed to give than it is to receive. So don't take the little bit that you have and hoard it and think that you're doing anything and that you're really accumulating anything. No, not at all. All you're doing is hurting yourself and those that you could be a blessing to. So we got a long ways to go as a community.
So
I'm sorry,
you
go ahead.
you mentioned that you're from Chicago. I know the Money Maven is from Chicago, and I'm Chicago born and bred, and when I die, I'm going to be Chicago dead, and that's what I say all the time. You can take me out of Chicago, but I'm still Chicago. So right now I'm living in Houston. So are these same type of thing? I'm going to just assume that these same type of opportunities as far as property are all over the country.
Absolutely. And it's just like buying a car. When you thought about buying a particular car and you decided this is a particular car that you wanted, now all of a sudden you notice that same vehicle on the road. Every day you see more of them than ever, because this is something you're thinking about getting. People call it the law of attraction, but it's just a part of how we're made up psychologically. Once you begin to get involved in real estate and you understand that there's opportunity, now all of a sudden you're just going to start seeing properties in a different way. You're going to see more of them, because you're going to see the opportunity that's associated with them as opposed to just the structure. That's all you see now. If you're not involved, you just see the structure, the one you live in. You're just in a structure. But once you begin to understand the inner workings of how that structure is purchased, how that structure is constructed in terms of being built up, how that the purchase process takes place, and how it's bought and sold and money's made on it and things of that nature, and how you can be the benefactor, then you begin to see the opportunities that have been around you all of the time. You just never, ever were attracted to them. Let me tell you how I got started, guys. I was in the mortgage industry, right? And I didn't know anything about mortgages. This was back in the mid-'90s. And at that time, anybody could be a loan officer. If you could fog up a mirror, you could be a loan officer. So you had a lot of people moonlighting as loan officers. And I had been a financial planner and had done a few other things. And I decided I wanted to try my hand. I got a call from somebody suggesting that I take a look at the mortgage industry. So I did. And at that time, my oldest daughter was in college, so I hired her and brought her on to work with me as a processor. And the very first month that she and I worked together, we made $20,000. $20,000, and I didn't know what I was doing. But I was a professional, so I was taking people's information like I was told to, and I was turning it in, and I was following the process. And there was a particular gentleman, for the sake of anonymity as well as bad memory, we're just going to call him Joe Willie. Joe Willie lived on the west side of Chicago, and he was purchasing a 3-unit building, and I was his loan officer. So we get to the closing, and I'm sitting there at the table, at the closing table at the title company. Joe Willie has his attorney. The seller has their attorney. So Joe Willie's president and his attorney, the seller's president and their attorney. The title agent is there. The real estate agent for Joe Willie was there. And I'm sitting there as Joe Willie's loan officer. And so you got a whole table full of professional people, most of which have degrees. And they passed Joe Willie the paperwork. And Joe Willie wasn't the most educated person formally that you ever met. This may be a slight exaggeration, just bear with me for the story's sake, but when you pass Joe Willie his paperwork to sign, they put an X down for him to sign, and I think he might have put an X next to the X because he wasn't a very formally educated person. So we're all sitting there with all of our degrees and whatnot, and when the dust settled on this transaction that I helped Joe Willie perform, Joe Willie got a 3-flat. He walked away with $40,000 in cash, and his builder was going to cash flow, meaning he was going to get about $4,500 per month from the property. And I said to myself immediately, look at all of us sitting up here with our little degrees. He's the smartest person at the table. I got to learn how to do what I just helped him to do because I don't know what I did. I don't know how this loan got to closing or anything, but I can count. And he's the smartest person at the table. So let me say to our listeners today, this is not about having a formal education. This is not about having a bunch of degrees behind your name. This is about common sense. If you can buy a property for $50,000 and sell it for $100,000, do the math. You just made $50,000. So if that opportunity is available for a person like yourself, the question you should be asking is, how can I do it? And who will show me how? Well, welcome to New Wealth Network. That's what we do.
That's awesome. Tracy, are you there?
Joe?
I am.
She fainted.
Oh, yeah.
No,
you
not
made
quite.
her faint.
Not yet, but wow. And I'm saying wow because, I mean, my day job, I work in property tax. I work in property tax. So I see values of homes, and I see taxes, and I see a lot of that. And so many people don't even know, even just that, the closing part, what happens during that. So it seems like this is just super important, even if you didn't want to get into, I don't see why you wouldn't, but even if this is not something that you would want to do to build wealth for your family, it just seems like this is still an education that's necessary, period.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If you're breathing, because you have to think about it. And the way I think about it with real estate, and I think Mr. Williams will agree with me, someone always has to live somewhere. Either it's you or someone else. And if I can provide that service, that means I am forever going to have a stream of income. And they're going to pay their rent. If I am a great landlord, which, Tracy, you know, we had 18 properties. Nobody understood how a woman, even though I was married, my ex-husband had nothing to do with our properties. If he walked on the porch and rang the tenant's bell, they would say to me, I spit in this man's face because I didn't know who he was, and I slammed my door and ran. They wouldn't have had any idea who he was, and he was part owner. So my point is, I did all of the work, and I am here to attest people, they're scared of properties, but when you're looking at long-term and wealth building, there's nothing more stable than real estate, in my professional but humble opinion, because someone is always going to need a place to live. And
let's look
one
at
other thing,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Say one other thing, Mr. Williams, I don't care about credit, and that's just me. I love my Section 8 tenants because that big check, that 80% of that $1,800 a month, that 80% is going to come regardless of the financial situation that's going on with them. Right now, Anybody that has Section 8 tenants, they're still going to get their check. They may not get that little 20% from the tenant because they couldn't go out and do whatever they do to get the little bit of money that they earn. Most of the time, I told my tenants, don't even worry about it, because when you get into understanding the value of what you actually have, the bigger picture is you also want to keep that tenant. You want to hold them there. So, one, you give them a great place to live, like you were saying, Mr. Williams. You get a property, you fix it up, you can flip it or refinance it. And that is something that me as a business consultant, that's what I do with my clients. I teach them refinancing your business name. Now it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. You just pulled out your equity and go and rinse and repeat. There's no way you can't build wealth for yourself and your family. And I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'm going to give you back the floor, Mr. Williams.
No, help yourself.
I have a 17-year-old daughter going to college. She sat down with me and said, Mommy, I see you doing all this business, and you start, and you're helping people get business credit and all of that. When is it going to be my turn? Right now. Go ahead and start you a nail business because you love to get your nails done. Do something you love, and then it won't be so taxing on you. So she started her nail business in our house. We have to support our children and teach them early. She started a nail business in our house, and guess what, Mr. Williams and Tracy?
What's that?
When she goes off to college, guess what her side hustle is? Now I'm not sending any money. Yep, I'm not sending money. She's going to be sending money to her little brother so he can get him something. And he's got, right now he sweeps the floor and keep her area clean, and he gets $5 a week. It's not much. He's 13 years old. Everybody in the housework up in here. Everybody has a business.
That's right. I like that. Well, our children are extremely intelligent. We just don't challenge them with the right information. We're putting things in front of them and allowing them to put things in front of themselves that just aren't productive. So they're wasting their talent. If you can rap all the words that you have to say and keep them in order and say that stuff for 10 minutes without messing up a word, and then have the audacity to be dancing at the same time and you haven't missed a step, you can learn real estate. Believe me, you can learn real estate, okay? It is a lot easier than that. Trust me when I tell you. And I can sing. I used to be able to dance. I don't really do that. But anyway, I'm just speaking from the standpoint of what it actually takes, what kind of intelligence that's being displayed, and we're wasting it. These are things that matter. Even with this pandemic going on right now, it's a big go to your own house, not an apartment where other people may have the disease next door or whatnot. You don't know who's got what. But to be in your own house, if you have to be locked up in your own house for the next 3 weeks or the next 2 months or whatever, as long as you have supplies, at least you're in your own house. So you're quarantining in your own house as opposed to in a community of an apartment complex because that was all you could afford to do. And so there are other benefits, as we see, of home ownership and things of that nature, especially in the face of times like this. Our children need to be taught. They need to be trained. They do need to work. They need to earn everything that they get. They don't need to be given anything on a silver platter. They'll appreciate it a lot more. It'll be of greater value to them, and they'll be able to pass that training on to their own children. Tracy was talking about a time when we were sharers, and then somebody invented the word on the street. The words on the streets were no cobs.
I remember.
No cobs. That means you cannot have any of what it is that I have.
Yeah, or my favorite. Well, my favorite is too good to give away. Too good to give away.
in my community on the west side, I just would lick my stuff and say, "Okay, you still want some?" No.
Okay. Oh no. See, nope. Yeah. That was the ultimate there. That's when everybody realized you were not sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
So
okay.
we want to share our knowledge and share our information. With germs flying around the way that they are, you keep your food. Whatever you lick, you can have that. Okay.
Yeah.
But as far as our knowledge, and information goes, we should share what information that we have, and know that your reward is not always going to come from the person that you shared it with. It's okay.
That's true.
It's an act of faith. It's an act of faith,
Yep.
and just as sure as you act by faith, you're going to be rewarded accordingly. And so you'll be blessed. You'll be blessed. We've got a lot of work to do in our community, guys. You asking to be done there in Houston? Absolutely.
Do you have anything where maybe someone could get involved with you? Because a lot of people nowadays want to work from home, but with everything going on, they want to work from home, make nice money. Do you have something available like that where if I have some sort of influence in my community or social media, can I connect with you and maybe help spread the word?
Absolutely. We're looking for some marketers. I'm at home right now. Most of us are at home right now. Most of the work that I do from home. And if you are a marketer and you have a following on social media, that could be an absolute gold mine for you when you mix that with real estate. So you definitely want to reach out to us. Go on our site and drop us your information, have us contact you. We'll reach out to you. You can drop us a little note there as to why you're interested or what you're interested in. But if you are a person that has social media following or followers, I should say, then there could be a tremendous opportunity for you as you help promote this national movement that we're all a part of. We need to begin to set our foundation nationally for financial awareness. And if you help us in that process, then you'll be paid significant amount of money and over and above what you are able to accomplish by buying real estate. This is additional money that you'll be able to make from home. I do a lot of Zoom meetings and webinars. This is the way of the future. It was before Corona, actually, that these processes that we use were put in place. So we're not doing anything differently, so to speak, now that Corona has come on board. We're still working remotely from our computer using screen share to speak with other people and actually executing our business that way. And people are paying online and wire transfers and things of that nature are taking place. But we'll show you how that you can work from home and utilize your social media skills to actually make a living.
That sounds good. The key word was when you said that they can be paid, because I know that's when my ears perked up.
There's a lot of money in real estate. That's a big pie.
Yeah.
Every time that something closes, there's a big pie that's being cut up. I just want to show you guys how to get your piece. How to get your
know
slice.
what? And
I was going to give out a quick example. When you refer a deal to us, let's say it's just you, Tracy. You refer a deal to me, and all you did was refer it to me. The only thing that I require of you is that you have one conversation with the owner. That's it. A lot of what we do is word of mouth. We all know people who are losing property or want to get rid of property. We call that person a distressed owner. You're not looking for distressed property. That's not what you want. You want a distressed owner. When you have a distressed owner, the property itself might be immaculate. It may be in great shape, but the owner just doesn't want it or can't afford it. And so let's say that you have an aunt, Tracy, who has a property that she inherited from your grandmother who passed, and she already has a house. What's she going to do with two houses? She doesn't want two houses. She can't afford two houses, so she needs to get rid of the house that she just inherited. Are you with me so far?
I am.
Okay. So let's say that since you know your aunt, you say, well, I work with this group. I don't know if they can help your aunt. but I want to take down some basic information, and if they can, then I'll let you know. So you refer your aunt to us. We have a property analysis form that's right on our site. You print it out, fill it out, and forward that information back to us. You can scan it and email it to us. Okay, we've got our form. We've taken a look at it. We say, oh, this is what the aunt has. This is what it's worth. She wants to get rid of it. All she wants is just to get out of it. Sometimes people don't even want money. They just don't want the expense or the burden of the property. And so we get through with this transaction, and we made $20,000. We netted $20,000 in profit because we were able to help your aunt get rid of her property, and she's satisfied. Well, at our very lowest scale of faith, we would send you a check for 5% of that, or $1,000, just for the referral. Now you say, well, wait a minute, you made $20,000. Yeah, and you made $1,000 for having one conversation, filling out one form. And that's what we're able to do, whet your appetite for the kind of money that's involved in real estate, so that you, like I did when I saw Joe Willie, I said, that's where I want to be. I want to be on that end of this equation. And we'll show you how to get there. But until you get there, we'll give you nice little finder's fees or marketing fees for the people that you do refer. How does that sound to you?
It sounds like a little snack, and that would get people interested.
Okay.
And I say snack because, money makes the world go around, and who doesn't want an extra $1,000? Who doesn't want extra? Because in now times there is no extra.
No,
there is no extra.
I hear you. Everything is needed. It's all required. And we want to show people how to get some multiple streams of income going for themselves. We've got a variety of different ways that people can earn income through our program. Right now, we've got all kind of business owners that need capital. You realize that if a person's got a 680 score or above, we can show them how to get up to $100,000 probably within the next 30 days in credit, lines of credit. Absolutely. Yes. So anybody that you know that's in business that needs capital, you need to refer them to the New Wealth Network. We'll see what it is that we can do to assist them. You want to be able to be in a position where you're not so tight. You want to be able to operate your business. And right now, with businesses being in the position that they're in, having no customers coming in, and a lot of people were already behind the eight ball, as we say, behind in their bills as the business owner already. Now you tack on another month or more, who knows, of not having any customers. How is that person going to make it? Well, hopefully we can put some money in their pocket that will help them tie them over until they're able to go back and actually start servicing customers again. So we got some very valuable services, and if you refer us to someone, excuse me, there's an opportunity for you to earn a finder's fee, a marketing fee.
Oh, that is really great. This every third Saturday is when we actually talk money, and I made sure that I invited all of the business people that I know, because those are mostly the people that I'm connected to, are people in business. And everybody is asking, what are we going to do? I'm asking, what am I going to do? We all want to know, what are we going to do in the event that this goes longer than a month, this goes longer than 2 months? What are you going to do? How are you going to sustain yourself? I have a regular job, but my goal is to get out of my regular job. And I have to prepare for times such as these when I'm no longer at my regular job.
Absolutely. Well, I'm happy that we have an opportunity to share some things with you, and perhaps we'll have some further conversation and take a deeper look at just where this can take us.
So we are almost at the end of our time. So what are the top 3 things that you wish to leave with the listeners, whether they're listening live or whether they listen on repeat, on the replay?
And are you speaking to me or Money Maven?
I'm talking to you.
To you. This. Hey, go for it.
Okay. Well, first of all, listen to the Money Maven. Make sure you always listen to the Money Maven. She's going to give you good information. And you want to leverage. You want to learn how to leverage your credit. You say, my credit is horrible, Jerome. Make sure you contact us. We'll show you how to get it all cleaned up. Over the next few months, we'll show you how to get your scores over 750 on the personal side, show you how to get it to 80, which is a perfect score, the paydex score, an 80 score, and we'll show you how to get over $100,000, minimum capital raise of $100,000. That we can do. If you're already 680 or above, we can show you how to get that $100,000 within the next 30 days or more. Okay?
And that 80, just for clarity's sake, that 80 is for your business. That's your paydex score that is the equivalent of a 750 or higher FICO, personal FICO score. Jumped in right there. Back to you.
No, I appreciate that. No, I appreciate that. That is what we're saying that we would suggest to you of all things that you may be thinking about. Take us up on this offer so that we can help stabilize you financially during this coronavirus and help you to be able to grow when this thing is all said and done. This is going to be like, there's an awful lot of opportunities that's going to come out of this also. There's going to be a lot more real estate that's going to change hands. You want to be in a position to buy low. A lot of property is going to be sold very inexpensively for various reasons. You want to be in a position to buy low. We want to show you how to get the finances in place so that you can do that when you see opportunities that come along. So thank you so much today, Money Maven, for allowing me to come on and as a part of your segment. Tracy, thank you for allowing me to be on your show. I appreciate it very much. And to the audience, thank you for being here. My prayer for you is that God will bless you and keep you safe. Be careful. Be prayerful. This is Jerome Williams. Thanking you all very much.
Well, we gotta have you back have to have you back soon. Thank you so much. It was you shared such a wealth of information. We definitely appreciate that. I'm gonna get with the Money Maven, and for the next probably 2 weeks, I'm gonna be giving all of my guests sharing all of the information, because everybody that I have been bringing is on next level, because that's what this show is, next level living. We need to get next level money, next level lifestyle. We need to be moving and progressing, not just sitting what we are. So I would definitely like you to come back another time and spend some time with us.
I would be honored.
All right. So I'm going to end you guys like I always do. I love you. Be authentic. And thank you for letting me help you be great. And see you next time. Goodbye.
Took me a while to get to this place. I'm so glad I'm in this space, accepting all my flaws, embracing authenticity, 'cause there's no